That looks really fun.
It's super fun. We used to go out to the parks like every Friday, but we hadn't been in a while. And my daughter was like, "Mom, I really want to go to the park." And I was like, "You know what? That's a perfect idea. We need to go."
Well, it's such a good idea. Sorry.
And they've been doing their usual like crawdads and let me show you my boys. It's hilarious. See them soaking wet. We read the poem about the Barefoot Boy. Somebody shared that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It's by, I can't remember who wrote it. Anyway, it's the cutest poem. It's like celebrating the Barefoot Boy, you know, with his pants legs rolled up. And so my boys were like, awesome. So that inspired them. They're always walking around like this now.
I love it. Oh, the Barefoot Boy. Wait, was that one of the stained glass pieces that was in the Forest Lawn?
Yeah, maybe it was. It's by a famous poet, but I can't remember his name.
I think sorry to talk over you. I think that's where we might have seen it.
Yeah, I think so. So I was like, I love that. I write it down. And so I shared it with the kids and they were like, that's awesome.
Oh, I love it. Oh, man. Okay, so ladies, I'm so sorry. Welcome to this new and not improved Friday morning. We had major issues today. So Zoom decided to change all kinds of things up on me. And I didn't know. I looked at my emails. I don't even have an email that says anything. So I got to go figure this out. But sorry, they added a passcode, some funky passcode, and I couldn't even change it. So we'll figure it out. But for today, I'm sure missed some people because they tried to get on and couldn't. So anyway, oh, there we go. The Barefoot Boy by John Greenleaf Whittier. Thank you, Marley. You put Whittier earlier and I didn't know what that meant. Oh, I love it. I love that that's what your boys were motivated by. That's so fun. Hi, Melissa.
Hi. I'm not going to be able to stay on today, but I am at a Day in Jerusalem event. And I can probably not hear you in there because it's loud, but walk around and show you guys what you guys want to see.
Yes. And if you, in between, if you want to put some Marco Polos on the group, then it'll stay there too.
Melissa, we went to this place called Homestead last week. Can you hear me?
We didn't catch the name of the place you said.
Homestead Heritage.
Okay.
And they had these looms and they did all this weaving. And I was like, oh, Melissa would love this. And I kept thinking of you. I took some pictures, but I haven't sent them or shared them. But I was like, I have to take some pictures to show Melissa. She'll love it. Anyways,
yes.
I was thinking.
Yeah. So I'll go in and try to show you.
Where is this event that you're at, Melissa? What? Sorry. Where is this event?
It's in Provo, Utah.
Okay.
So one day, I think this is the first time they've done it. They have exhibits. They have presentations going all day from like 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. I think. They have different scholars doing like half-hour to hour presentations in one of the rooms. I have my kids, so we're not really doing that because they're still little. And most people here are probably over 40.
Sure. And tell us the name of it.
I'm not sure the official name. I'm calling it a Day in Jerusalem.
Okay, that works for me.
But they have vendors and different demonstrations. They even took my kids in the back of the event center to make their own flatbread and different things. So I might not be able to hear you and you might not be able to hear me very well, but I'm gonna flip my camera and kind of walk around if you guys want to see it. So they have vinegars and oils and grapes here as we enter. We've got soaps and other games. Little nativity ornaments. They have a money changer for if you want events, you go pay and get tokens for money changers. Wood turning. Everyone's in costume.
Looks like chocolate, but it's not. You're not.
Look at how cool these are. They're little vases, but they're like moon shaped.
Not bad. Like it.
Breads. And books.
Thank you so much.
Lots of soaps and carvings, and they've got video demonstrations of different scholars going on. This is the presentation room. They're also going to do a Passover dinner in there tonight. And they've got snacks and glass, stained glass work. And these cute flowers.
Sure. It's not something you'll find in Walmart or, you know, even in the stores.
Spinning pottery. Excuse me. Sir.
Then the bread has been suspended table.
Over here they have grape stomping. You had to go to the money trader to get 5 coins to stomp grapes. They're showing how you'd cook flatbread here by the fire on a back of a pan or stove. The kids are able to grind wheat. They've got a whole bread demonstration here with toppings and grinders and all the different grains. And they have this little like hut, this little tent that you'd live in. Set up your little fire in the middle, which is fun and dark. They do have a little loom here. I'm not sure if this is a period loom. Usually they'd have hanging looms is my experience, but they have one. Then they have this booth with all the historical things. They've got some exhibits of lanterns and pottery and writing. And I thought this was cool. This is how you'd take notes. They have wax in here. If you didn't want anything permanent, you'd etch into the wax and then you can melt it down. So your shopping list or whatever could go in there, practice your handwriting. And these are the prayer shawls, and it's this blue. There was a video presentation recently about the Murex snails to get the royal purple dye. And historically, that's the dye they would use to get that blue on the tzitzits that they would use, is from those snails. So it was very expensive. That's why they'd only do like one thread of it. Often is my understanding, at least. So he's got like brown thorns. They've got priestly robes here, you can maybe see. And then they have a photo booth, which is 10 coins, the money changers. And they have tables and tables of costumes set up. And then you can get your photo taken on the backdrop. You can see the bread from the single butter. They've got a grinder there, the mill and the sifters and different flours of bread, and talks about how you break the bread, not cut it. And that it would take about 3 hours a day for a family of 5 to get the bread they needed each day, and twice as long on Thursday.
Can you send those videos to my mom?
I'm actually on a live
Oh,
with some friends
Okay.
that are in California.
oh, sorry.
But I would if I were. This is, let me flip this around. This is B'nai Shalom. Did I say that right? And these are LDS and Jewish.
For Jews who are members of the LDS Church.
Yes. And they have a Facebook page that you can join because I'm on that page. That's where I learn about stuff like this. So hope that's okay.
Yeah.
So thanks. So those are the booths that are out right now. At some point there's supposed to be a wedding procession, I think. And yeah, they're doing a dinner tonight. And now I'm outside so I can talk loud again. But yeah, I thought you guys would appreciate that. Hopefully you got some of it and it wasn't too crazy loud.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't crazy loud at all. We heard you, and it was just you were narrating, and it was amazing. That was really incredible. I'm so happy that you shared that. I know Marley
So-
enjoyed it too, and Marley put the link to the event and everything.
Oh, thanks, Marley. So yeah, we aren't going to be able to stay here all day. I'd love to be watching all the presentations all day, but I've got a 4-year-old, so
Yeah.
we'll probably leave and come back, and then my husband and I will come back for the dinner tonight.
Oh, nice.
So
Good for you. Let's go ahead, Marley.
Oh, I don't have anything to say, just how wonderful it was. It didn't look very crowded. Is it just because of time of day, or is it just a big space?
well, it's Friday, so kids are still in school, and so anyone with kids wouldn't be here unless they don't have school on Friday. And a lot of people were just in the presentations. And so like if you'll go to a presentation, the next one you don't want to go to, you'll go out and mingle and shop, and it's all day. Like I said, it goes from 10 to 9.
The dinner tonight
Oh,
sounds so
I think people will
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a birthday present back from January for myself.
It's so neat.
So
Yeah,
Excellent.
Melissa,
So,
thank
yeah, I think
you.
we're-
That was super nice of you to do that. I'm sorry, I crossed over you.
no, that's okay. I was like, oh, I'm here and my mother's group's on. And I don't usually have data on my phone, but I have my husband's phone with his hotspot. So I was like, I'll use your phone and show everybody. So I hope you hadn't already talked about something, but I'm gonna leave now and go feed my kids. But I hope you have a great talk. I will talk to you all later.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great evening. Okay, well, that was really neat. That was really fun to see all those things. I love that, especially as just obviously the timing of everything. So that's great. I don't think Melissa even knew about our mishap this morning. So ladies, we're here. We don't have a long time together. Now about 15 minutes to share more. Obviously, we started this morning with Ida and her adventure and the Barefoot Boys, which I just love. So what else? What else is up for you? And just know if I disappear, it's because I'm getting a video call from my son because our 3rd grandchild was born last night. And so he's at the hospital with the babies. So yeah, I know. I'm so excited. So excited. All the good things. And my daughter is on her way. She is on a plane right now with Lindsay Bunting and Lindsay's daughter and Sarah's other friend. They're flying to San Francisco and then flying to Denmark. So They will be in Denmark next week, and then a little quick jaunt to Sweden and back. So yeah. So hopefully you guys, you ladies, follow Lindsay on Instagram. She'll be posting a lot, I'm sure. My Sarah posts wonderful stories. Doesn't usually put them permanently on. Those are the two probably to follow. With losing people and gaining people. Yeah. So anyway, all right. What about you? What's your news? What's going on with you? And I think maybe we have Michelle too. I don't know if you ladies know, but we had Michelle come out last week, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, to our Pinehurst Academy and talked to the young ladies about bees. And she brought her bee suit and she brought an empty hive, and it was really fun just having that little discussion and activity with her. We enjoyed it a lot. So anybody else? I know there's stuff going on out there.
I have nothing, but I just feel like, oh, I want to talk to people. I want to be here. My whole contribution is we got another dog, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but we have a beagle that we've always had beagles. So this is our third beagle. She's 18 months old. And for whatever reason, we thought it would be a good idea to get another one. So now we have a 9-month-old and an 18-month-old.
And how's that going, my friend?
Dogs, pretty good. I've never had 2 dogs before. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that before. I've never done that. So he needs to learn how to sleep in a crate. So last night it was like having a newborn baby, it was like, go to sleep. I had to tell him to go to sleep. But that's it. And really I sit on the couch and just babysit the new dog, make sure that everything he does is right.
So it's a boy, the new one. And what are the names of your 2 dogs so everybody knows?
Oh, I'm horrified that this is what we're talking about today.
No, I love it.
There's beautiful poetry that we should be quoting. My girl dog is named Maisie, and this dog's name is Moki, which means a lot of different things in different languages, but we like it because it means ox. And he is like a thoroughbred horse. Like he just is muscly and rippled and strong. So
that's fun.
Moki.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's funny.
So this conversation can only go up from here, everybody.
There is nothing wrong with talking about your new development in your life, my friend. Go ahead, Ida. What did you say?
Oh, it's super windy, so it probably sounds like I'm in the tunnel or something now. Can you hear me? Yeah, so not good.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. I'll just wait.
You're fine. No, you're good. I'm just saying, it's windy. That's all. Keep going.
Trying to find a space like in a little.
You're good. You're good.
Out of
That's
a
good.
little bit. So it's been so amazing. Like we've been kind of busy, but like the last few, those ladies that you met before, Lori, that are part of our mothers group here.
Mm-hmm.
That's been like moving along, but like just the like that. Did you guys watch that talk that Marlene shared the other day that was given at BYU about we kind of thing?
Yes.
So it's been really interesting because we've been having that same conversation in our group, but coming from with these ladies that are in my homeschooling. Those are beautiful things, yeah. And he just brought me some flowers. That idea of community, and like my friends are like wanting to buy some property, and like we've been looking and discussing and talking about all the logistics of it, but it's been so cool. And I'm like, it's like the spirit of Belong, like that Marlene has talked about, and it's like it's happening, like, and we've been like feeling that, and it's not just me. And it's so interesting because it's like lots of people like from all over are having similar feelings and thoughts and ideas, and it's just interesting, you know what I mean? Like, so we've looked at lots of properties and just been what happened just in the like beginning stages really of like brainstorming and trying to figure out how to make it work and the expenses and logistics, and I don't know I don't even know, but it's just been so cool seeing like those discussions happening, like, and then just a minute of like building communities, right? Like how much that help just that's what the world now needs is connection and community and love. And of course, all things can be a blessing in those kinds of communities. Like, anyways, I don't know how to even put it in words, but I was just thinking about that. I'm like, it's so amazing, like what's happening. Like, I don't even know. It's like, I'm not even like, it's like a train is moving and I'm just like, all right, I am here. I am ready. I don't know where we're going, but I'm on this train. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways.
Oh, 100% makes sense to me, because that's what I feel like too. Poor Marley, she hears about it from me all the time. Okay, now I feel like I'm supposed to do this, and there's this, and there's this, and I'm not sure how it's all going to come together, and what does that mean? And and I love one of the things, Marley, if you're close by, I would love for you to share again just that thought that you share with me about how the Lord's work is so different. He's doing something different. So I don't know how far away you are, but when you come back, there we go.
Oh, I mean, I can do that. When I first found the Well-Educated Heart, I just had to remind myself often, because Marlene often says, we need to connect to the familiar, but I had to remind myself that I was doing something different. That when other people over here are doing these things, and my background was public school teacher, and I was kind of freaking out a little bit, that everything I had felt and known, all these threads were kind of coming apart and I was unraveling. I just had to remind myself, this is different. This is different. And so when we did that early Right Heart course, we built that into the course, just that reminder of this is different. But when I ponder and think about how the Lord changes culture, how does he bring about something utterly brand new? And I think it's different, and our ways are not his ways, and we always are trying to put things in this box that we recognize and that feels right to us. But the Lord is doing this whole other kind of thing, and we seldom see the whole picture. So just that reminder that the things that he does don't have to look like or feel like or seem like what we expect them to be. And we can still be an instrument in something grand, and yet small and simple ways, in this pattern of what the Lord is doing.
Yeah, and I need that reminder all the time. Don't try to put it into that box. Just let it be what it is. Receive that and just go with it. You don't have to have the whole picture. You just need to know what you're supposed to do today.
Yeah. And trust that the Lord knows what he's doing. And if you're building Zion, like I think about a Zion principle, that Zion doesn't exist. It's something new, and it requires, at least it doesn't exist in its form, in our civilization today. He's doing it his way, but it's full of beauty, and it's full of friendship and love and unity, and we have to conform to all those kinds of things.
Yeah, but it is beautiful seeing that is popping up all over the place. People are having that, I don't know, receiving a calling or something, but just having this feeling that, or being drawn to things that are beautiful, and being drawn to each other and wanting to share, and feeling this need to gather or to find space or whatever it is, but it is happening all over the place. I love seeing that. It makes me feel very encouraged.
And it's as simple as what's happening here. I mean, that's what I love, the simplicity of just as a woman wanting to knit your heart more closely with other women. And that doesn't mean we have to be exactly like-minded. It just means we we love each other and we want to do good in whatever way it seems to us.
Yeah. And I love that in this community here and in the bigger communities that we're part of, Well-Educated Heart, Mothers of Influence, things like that, we do feel that. We feel that knitting our hearts together. You know, we feel that connection. And it's so different than from what was or what was beginning to happen and what is happening out in the world, where you have this competition. You know, women, it's a competition. And at work, when I worked way back when, it was a competition, and that's how it felt. And it was hard to feel like you were safe among friends, maybe, out in the world. And so I love that that's changing, and that women are connecting with each other and being genuine and knowing that they're safe in that community, and that they have a place now where they can come and they can share and they can grow and they can support one another. And that support is genuine. It's not just, I don't know, I feel that so warmly here. And of all the women here, you know, that come most, like when we have the larger days, when we have a lot of women here, there are only a couple of them that I've met in person, but I would never consider their friendship any less than the people I've met and interacted with. So that's a really incredible thing that has happened. And I think that's part of that spirit of Bel-Am too, that gathering, the spirit of Mothers of Influence, this knitting our hearts together and spreading that influence. I don't know, it's a beautiful thing. And I never would have imagined it was this simple.
Is it simple to you guys out there? Do you have connections in your everyday lives? It doesn't have to be like 8 people, but is there a friend or people that connect with in a special way to you?
Or maybe are you beginning to see that possibility where maybe you didn't see it before?
Well, where I'm at, so I'm here in Utah, and I was just wondering, I'm looking at that thing that was it Melissa, right? That she was at, because I was like, oh, is there a possibility we could go there? Because it's in Provo, it looks like. Oh, you see me? So I was able to share just last week. I was able to share with someone. We're at a Relief Society meeting together, and she says we somehow got on the topic of homeschool. And I said, hey, so I shared with her the Libraries of Hope website, and I said, check this out. She, so her oldest is like 20 months, and then she's pregnant with another girl. So she'll have 2 girls. And I was like, check this website out. It's just really cool. So that's like the only connection I've made with someone here locally that I've actually, I talk to regularly. Because actually today my son was supposed to be having a makeup music class. I asked my mom, I said, can you go to class with him? Because I want to be on this call. And she's like, so are these mostly ladies from like Orem and Utah? I'm like, nope, most of them are not by me at all. But so right now, you're the group I connect with the most. So I appreciate that.
Did you happen, Mary, to see the flower arranging workshop?
I watched part of it. I was late to it, and I was watching it as I was making lunch for my kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're
So-
so cute though. Emily and Raylan, and I just thought that is such a simple thing to just do with somebody. Like the spirit of Bel-Am doesn't necessarily mean that we point everybody to Well-Educated Heart and they start, embracing that all the way, but just sharing the things that we're learning with people in just those little ways. That's why I was inspired to just find a way to do that more with the people in my neighborhood or that I know.
Yeah, I think Ida, were you going to share something, sweetie?
That's okay. Just pick it up. You can drive in the car. You want me to help you? So, my daughter just slipped in. So she's, give me your hand and then grab the cup. You got it. Here. Okay. All right. Let's come this way. Come on. Come on. All right, you got it. Okay. So I was just gonna say that I think initially during COVID, like I was yearning for that connection. I think that's part of the Heavenly Father led me to this group. And I really do feel like I feel like I can tell you guys anything. And I love that. And I just like this great connection, even though we're, you know, in different parts of the country. It's okay. A beautiful spider. Okay. Here, hold your cup. We're gonna get going. But I've been able to start building more of that community here, and I just love it. And initially it had to do with like homeschooling and some well-educated heart stuff, but it's grown into more than that. And it's just like Heavenly Father's brought these people into my life, and they're just amazing people. And it's interesting to feel us all feeling like we have this kind of smaller, tight-knit group, but then feeling the need to reach out and expand and bring in anyone, right? And so that's been interesting as we were like, as our group is kind of like figuring things out, like how can we, you know, make connections with other women, even if they're not, you know, LDS or homeschooling or whatever. And we've been doing that a little bit. And it's so cool. Like, it's like Heavenly Father's guiding it, you know, like it's just happening naturally without like, it has felt like easy, really, just in normal and natural ways.
I love it. I love that. And I love also how you can actually, if you start looking back at your day, you might realize, oh, I had one of those conversations. I never brought up, like Marley said, I never brought up Libraries of Hope or Mothers of Influence or the Forgotten Classics or anything, but I had a conversation with my friend about this flower that I learned about, or about this bird that I saw in my backyard, or about this lovely poem that, you know, like with Ida with her Barefoot Boys, just things like that. They're just sharing with another person and making that connection. I love that. And I love that you feel that comfortable here. But I think coming here and feeling this way gives you then the confidence to start looking outside of where you are at home and seeing if you might be able to find some other women who are like-minded, or who you might be able to bring some little thing like a poem or a story, or going to visit a flower show. I don't know, you know, doing something like that together that helps to warm her heart. You might have so many people around you that really would love to connect with you and have these conversations. They just have forgotten how, maybe, and maybe you could help them, you know, remember what that was like and help them to be able to do that. So I don't know, Michelle, I'd love to know if you feel like now that you're more open to it and more, you have eyes to see, do you see yourself having more of these kinds of conversations with people, just normal people you interact with?
Yeah, definitely. I see that. It's easy for me to bring that up. Just in a conversation with, I ran into a woman who was homeschooling her kids or just a month or so ago, and I was like, oh, that's great. They had just bought some land, and they had animals, and she's trying to homeschool her kids. And I thought, oh, I said, well, have you ever heard of the Well-Educated Heart? And she was like, no. So I pulled it up and showed her. And anyway, but yeah, I think in everyday conversation, it's pretty easy to bring up. There's so many things. I mean, with everything, art and nature and music, and most people love to hear that. You say, especially, well, you know, I forget what the one sister's name is that was saying that she was in the education world before all this, but sometimes with teachers, it's hard for them to think outside the box that they've been in. And so when you say, oh yeah, we're studying nature and poetry and literature and all these wonderful things, they're like, oh, well, those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's pretty easy, but you know, everybody's different.
Yeah, but you feel comfortable now sharing those things. I love that. I love it. And then I was talking to another mutual friend of Michelle Michelle's and mine. And she sent me a little text this week after we had a conversation. And she said, I gathered some, and she called them caregiving women, which I thought was kind of a nice phrase. I gathered some caregiving women who needed each other, and we now meet monthly for lunch. So that's how she's starting. They're just meeting monthly for lunch to have some positive, warm conversations. And she plans on building, from there. So I love that. And it's as simple as that, really. Although carving out time isn't always simple, but sometimes though it can just be a bumping into somebody when you're out running your errands. I mean, doing something normal and natural and just not being afraid to have a conversation with somebody. Although for introverts, I think that would be really hard. For me, that seems easy. I'm guessing for you too, Michelle. Ida, I think would be comfortable with that. Probably Mary, but I think for Marley and Melanie, that would be just, well, you don't do that. And so we all have our own ways, and we find our own ways to make those connections. Sometimes it's with our families. Sometimes that doesn't work. But anyway, well, I'm sorry this time has gone by so fast since we started a little bit late, but thank you for coming and being here. Thank you for just spending a little bit of time and having a little chat. We got to go with Melissa and visit that activity, that day in ancient Israel in Provo. That was amazing. And then just have some nice conversations and some nice thoughts. I love this idea, just going back to Ida's start, of her boys hearing the poem, the Barefoot Boys. Now we need to go back up to that. And loving that idea, and then them just being out barefoot every day or as often as they can because of that. So I love that. Marley, are you still close? Would you be willing to read that poem to us as we go? Do you still have that around? It's in the chat, if nothing else.
Let me see what I can do. I can make it bigger. Blessings on thee, little man, barefoot boy with cheek of tan, with thy turned up pantaloons and thy merry whistled tunes, with thy red lip, redder still, kissed by strawberries on the hill. With the sunshine on thy face, through thy torn brim's jaunty grace, from my heart I give thee joy. I was once a barefoot boy. Prince thou art, the grown-up man only as a Republican. Let the $1,000,000 ride, barefoot trudging at his side. Thou hast more than he can buy in the reach of ear and eye. Outward sunshine, inward joy. Blessings on thee, barefoot boy. Oh, for boyhood's painless play, sleep that wakes in laughing day, health that mocks the doctor's rules, knowledge never learned of schools. Of the wild bee's morning chase, of the wild flowers' time and place, flight and fowl and habitude of the tenants of the wood. How the tortoise bears his shell, how the woodchuck digs his cell, and the ground mole sinks his well, how the robin feeds her young, how the oriole's nest is hung, where the whitest lilies blow, where the freshest berries grow, where the groundnuts trail its vine, where the wood grapes clusters shine, of the black wasp's cunning way, masons of his walls and clay, and the architectural plans of gray hornets' artisans. For eschewing books and tasks, nature answers all he asks. Hand in hand with her he walks, face to face with her he talks, part and parcel of her joy. Blessings on the barefoot boy. Oh, for boyhood's time of June, crowding years in one brief moon, when all things I heard or saw, me, their master, waited for. I was rich in flowers and trees, hummingbirds and honeybees. For my sport the squirrel played, piled the snouted mole his spade. For my taste the blackberry cone purpled over hedge and stone. Laughed the brook for my delight, through the day and through the night. Whispering at the garden wall, talked with me from fall to fall. Mine the sand-rimmed pickerel pond, mine the walnut slopes beyond, mine on bending orchard trees, apples of, oh dear, Hesperides? How do you say that?
Hesperides, maybe.
Hesperides. Still as my horizon grew, larger grew my riches too. All the world I saw or knew seemed a complex Chinese toy fashioned for a barefoot boy. Oh, for festal dainties spread like my bowl of milk and bread, pewter spoon and bowl of wood on the doorstone gray and rude. O'er me like a regal tent, cloudy ribbed, the sunset bent, purple curtained, fringed with gold, looped in many a windswung fold. While for music came the play of the pied frogs orchestra, and to light the noisy choir lit the fly his lamp of fire. I was monarch, pomp and joy waited on the barefoot boy. Cheerily then, my little man, live and laugh as boyhood can. Through the flinty slopes be hard, stubble speared the new mown sward. Every morn shall lead thee through fresh baptisms of the dew. Every evening from thy feet shall the cool wind kiss the heat. All too soon these feet must hide in the prison cells of pride. Loose the freedom of the sod, like a colt's for work be shod. Make to tread the mills of toil up and down in ceaseless moil. Happy if their tracks be found never on forbidden ground. Happy if they sink not in quick and treacherous sands of sin. Ah, that thou couldst know the joy ere it passes, barefoot boy.
Thanks. Gosh, I didn't expect that to happen. Not though, but the whole time you're reading, I'm thinking about my boys, and they're not little boys. And anyway, but that's so sweet. Gosh, we have such a wonderful opportunity in our lives to bring joy to other people. Even if we're not quite feeling it ourselves, you know, it makes us feel better if we can bring light and goodness and beauty to other people. So don't forget that. That's one of the best ways to make yourself feel better, is immerse yourself in something beautiful and then go share it with another person. So I hope you'll think about that and try to do it this week, because it really will make a difference. It'll make your heart lighter and warmer, and it'll light up a little bit of the world around you. So anyway, thank you so much, all of you, for being here today. And I hope that everything goes well for you. I love you so much. I hope you know that. Thanks.